So in today's video, we're going to be looking at some rare male and female classical variations. I've tried to order them so as we go through the list, they'll get increasingly rare. But if you would have done the order differently, or if you would have included other variations that I've missed, do let me know in the comments. Starting off with Jean's variation from the Flames of Paris. Now this variation has loads of hops on point, so don't even try it unless you have very strong ankles, very strong point work, and you enjoy hopping on point, because not all dancers do. It also has a lot of pirouettes. There's a series of lame ducks where they are all on point. You don't lower down into a fondue at any moment. And then it finishes with a series of single pirouettes en dehors and en dedans, switching from one to the other. So lots of pirouettes, lots of hops on point, but a really fiery and fun variation full of character. Next we have the doll variation from the fairy doll. This is a really sweet, playful and quite elegant variation. There is nothing terribly difficult. You've got a series of nice arabesques, pirouettes and attitude, a ton de flèche, quite a few relevés on point, some lame ducks and some battery. A lot of the steps can be modified, and you'll notice that this variation is often chosen for children in ballet competitions because it is quite cute. And so some of the harder steps, like the entrechatsis, will be replaced with something easier like a changement. Next, we have a male variation from the Cavalry Halt. Like a lot of male variations, it has some grand jetés, tour en l'air à la seconde, ton de flèche, pirouettes en dehors, and some battery. This is a lovely variation. It is bold and it has a real military flair to it. Next, back to female variations, we have Shirin from The Legend of Love. This is such a unique and beautiful variation. You don't often see it, and it includes some attitude arabesque, some relevé entonant, a few different pirouettes, and a series of chaînés. You'll notice the hand placement of the thumbs touching the middle finger echoes influences from Eastern and Persian choreographies, and overall I think this role has such a beautiful, almost feline quality to it. It is very regal and a really fun solo to learn. Moving on, we have Auspicia from the Pharaoh's Daughter. In general, the Pharaoh's Daughter is full of really beautiful variations, so I definitely recommend you check it out if you haven't already. But in Auspicia, we see a lot of C-zones, a lot of extensions, devant and à la seconde, different types of pirouettes, a piqué manège around the room, and it finishes with some lame ducks. It is elegant and light, and the choreography I feel is very classical and clean. Next we have the Flora variation from The Awakening of Flora. I've chosen Maria Juareva again. She must be the queen of having danced every single variation out there, and she does them all absolutely exquisitely. In the beginning of the variation, you'll notice that it's quite repetitive. There are some emboîtés, enveloppé on point, walks on point, some pirouettes en dedans, some extensions, relevé, and a lot of fast footwork. Overall, it's delicate, charming, it has some really articulated footwork in there, very elegant port de bras, and it would be great for dancers who don't particularly enjoy jumping. Next we have the Satanella variation from the Carnival in Venice, and this is the male variation. It is buoyant, it has a lot of jumps, including some of the very typical steps you'll notice in a male variation, like grand jeté en tournant, six-saut assemblé, entre-chassis, tour en l'air, cabriole battu, and overall I think this is such a fun classical male variation and a real shame that you don't see it more often in competitions. Moving on, we have another female variation, and this is Maria from the Fountain of Bakhchisarai. This variation I think would be really well suited to taller dancers because it has some lovely extensions, but then it also has a lot of grand allegro steps. For example, cabriole, grand jeté and entrelacé. Then there are a few turns as well. You've got some pirouettes en dedans and some pirouettes en dehors in attitude. And at the end, you've got a series of chaînés. Again, yet another very beautiful variation that I would love to see more at competitions. Next we have a male variation, and that is Phoebus from La Esmeralda. This solo includes assemblée en tournant, grand jeté, cabriole, six-saut, pirouettes en dehors and en dedans, and then a manège around the room with grand jeté en tournant. So there are a lot of steps in there that are very typical of classical male variations. It has a lovely noble character to it, and it would be particularly good for dancers who enjoy fast, precise turns. And finally, we have the male variation from Act 1 of Ondine. This is a brilliant solo. It includes fouetté sauté, pirouettes en dedans, grand jeté, assemblée battue, quite an unusual jeté en tournant, tour en l'air and batterie. This is quite a difficult solo, and I think the reason why it's not often performed at competitions is because there is a moment where the corps de ballet circle around the male soloist and he takes a break. I believe this could be altered if you did want to perform it at a competition. You could do a nice big walk around the room. You could even cut the music so that there's no break. But it's such an exciting and difficult variation that it would definitely be very impressive if you were to choose it for a competition. So that concludes my list of rare male and female classical variations. I would love to hear from you if you have any suggestions that you would have added to the list. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.